welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is fine. Today is going to be my review and demo of the Sephora Tint Infusion Foundation, and I've gotten a lot of comments and requests for me to do a review on this. So I've been using this foundation exclusively for the last 2 weeks, and I always give myself 2 weeks to test the product before doing a review. So I'm gonna review it now, and I will add in the clips of my demo inside here, but I'm gonna go and take my notebook because I don't want to miss out any information. So be right back. What it just says that it's a ethereal natural finish foundation. It is a light to medium coverage, buildable 12-hour hydration, dermatologically tested and non-comedogenic. The first thing I'm going to talk about is the packaging of the product, and it is in a frosted glass, and it has 20 ml or 0.67 fluid ounce, and this cost $32, and you can get it from Sephora. I'm in the shade 25 beige, and this is the foundation that I am wearing on right now. And it comes with a dropper, and I don't know how to feel about this dropper. I think it's really cool, but at the same time it can get quite frustrating because you know you kind of have to, like, I don't know, I end up playing with the dropper more than, you know, I use it to dispense the foundation itself. But I think that it's a good, I guess it's something different. Not, at least to me, I don't have any other foundations that do this dropper thing. You have to admit that it can get quite leceh sometimes. Yeah, that's the packaging, and because again this is like a serum-ish foundation, very liquidy, so you need to shake it up really well. If not, the product inside will actually separate, and then if you don't shake it well and you like squeeze it onto the back of your hand, you just get this like random oily watery thing that's kind of gross. So be sure to shake the bottle up. It is reminiscent of the NARS Luminous Weightless Foundation that I've reviewed, and I will link it down below in the description box. And I feel that the consistency of this is thicker than, just slightly thicker than the NARS All Day Luminous Weightless one. But honestly speaking, if you don't have the budget for the NARS one, I'm just gonna straight up tell you that you can actually get away with this, because it does give me a similar finish as to the NARS All Day Luminous Weightless one. However, the NARS one is slightly more luminous and it's more like glowy. This one I can still get away with, for example, not powdering or whatever, because it leaves my skin dewy but not so dewy to a point where I need to powder and I look oily. The NARS All Day Luminous Weightless one, that one is full on luminous, gila, like luminous, glow, next level 100%. But for this one, you can still get away without powdering your face if you are too worried about looking too luminous. But I'm not gonna say that it's a dupe, but you can definitely try this out if you don't have the budget for the NARS All Day Luminous Weightless one. And just like the NARS foundation, it is so incredibly easy to blend, as you can see in my review and in my demo. The one thing I do have to say though is that the pigmentation is not as strong as that of the NARS Luminous one. The NARS one, it's like one drop packs a punch of pigment. Like, you know, a thin layer can cover a lot, or like more than a normal foundation can. But for this one, I find that it's more to a light to medium coverage that's buildable. So for me personally, when I put like just one layer on my face, I feel that it doesn't do that much, it doesn't cover that much. But when I build it up to the coverage that I want, it just covers up the things that I want it to cover. But just bear in mind that this is a very light foundation in my opinion. Like when you put it on, like one layer doesn't give me a medium coverage, it gives me a light coverage. I think that it's very easy to build up and it doesn't cake up because it's so runny. For application purposes, just like the NARS All Day Luminous Weightless Foundation, I actually prefer to use it with a flat top kabuki brush or an angled flat top kabuki brush. So just now in the demo, I actually used the new 13 Rushes Angle Flat Foundation brush. And I do still have the original flat top foundation brush, angled flat top foundation by 13 Rushes. They redid their brushes, so this is the old one and this is the new one. The new one is slightly smaller to, you know, get into the crevices of your face, and it's really soft as always. And oh, another one is another brush that I have over there is the Sigma F80 brush, the flat top flat top kabuki brush. I think that these brushes are the best brushes to use for a foundation that is this liquidy, simply because I feel that it gives you a good coverage. And I tried using a beauty blender with this foundation, but I don't know why it did not work for me. Like, it just took away the product from my face. It was very frustrating because I wanted to try using different tools to put on this foundation, because since the last review, the NARS Weightless Foundation, I actually used a kabuki flat top brush. So I thought that, hey, you know, I'm gonna try using a beauty blender, but for me personally, the beauty blender did not work as well as flat top brushes do. So that's something to bear in mind. I have not tried using my fingers to apply it yet, but I reckon using your fingers will give a very natural like look. And regardless whether you use a brush or fingers or whatever, I feel that this foundation gives a super natural finish. As in, just like because like I mentioned in the NARS All Day Luminous Weightless video, the trend now is this like very thin consistency serum foundation, and the purpose of serum foundation is to make you look like natural still with coverage. So I feel that the Sephora one does that as well. For the lasting power, for this one, I can vouch for the 12-hour lasting thing, simply because I used this foundation one day when I had work from like morning to evening, and then I had a meeting after that ended around 10:30. My makeup still stayed, my foundation still looked really good, except for during the 8-hour mark. It was a mark where I had to powder and touch up, but I refused. That is the point where you will start to notice that parts of the foundation is actually slipping off. So, or not slipping off, it's like rubbed off. So I don't know whether it's 12-hour, but I know that it lasts about 8 hours, and even when I came home, I still look like decent with this foundation. It is pretty long lasting, and I believe that if I had powdered, it would have lasted even longer. Now that I've covered all the areas that I want to cover about this foundation, here are my final thoughts on it. Like I said, I don't want to say that it's a dupe, an exact dupe for the NARS All Day Luminous Weightless one, but I think that it's a very, 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 very close match to that. And I highly recommend it if you are someone who is looking for a very thin consistency, light to medium coverage foundation. It gives a natural finish, and it's totally for those of you who don't need that much coverage but you still want something to even out your skin tone. I will highly recommend this foundation, this Sephora foundation. It's completely, in my opinion, a gem among all the Sephora line of products, because sometimes when we get into Sephora, we get too overwhelmed by all the other big brands inside there that we forget about these, like, you know, Sephora gems, like the Sephora brands. So I highly recommend you to check this foundation out, because I think it's worth it, and especially for the price that you pay, despite it being only 20 ml, but still, you know, it's worth a shot. It's very long lasting because I wore it for about 16 hours. It just gives you such a healthy glow. So with that, we've come to the end of my review and demo of the Sephora Teint Infusion Ethereal Natural Finish Foundation. I hope that you guys found this video and this review helpful. Don't forget to give the video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet, or if you want to see more videos from me. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video.